Okay, so this is part 4. So we got our shit done. We all based. We have pretty good sync bases. Something else to think about is like trying to sync our bases so people aren't just like sitting around doing nothing while 3 guys are in base and they're just like trying to not die. So this is nice that we're sort of coming back to lanes together. Just gonna speed it up while nothing really happens. So this is like what we did good so far, and then shit's about to take a turn for the worse, as everyone in this game knows. So we take Dragon. One sort of small critique is right here, Dragon's up. We see Malphite pushing top, so there's no teleport. We know Malphite has no teleport. So this is obviously a 5 versus 4 once Nami gets here. But they have they don't have their engage and their Malphite. So I think that we should immediately just go sit on this Dragon and rush it down 5v4 for free, and then let Sebs base and go top. Because there's no way he's going to base and then walk all the way to top lane and save that tower. So we should be hitting Dragon seconds ago. Hitting Dragon, hitting Dragon, hitting Dragon, hitting Dragon. Dragon dies, Sebs bases, catches the wave up around here, and then can shove it back out. But that's just a small thing. We're stronger 4v4, so who cares? We just want to match them and stay and do whatever they're doing, because we can win the 1v1 up top and we can win the 4v4 on the other side of the map. But just something to think about. So let's just zoom up again. So here we are. So I guess we don't have much vision mid again. So this is a recurring problem, getting wards over on these areas of the map to let Victor push up. So now we have a nice siege. Amumu's taking some junglers, which is okay, I guess, for right now. Sebs has Malphite zoned out. But we have a really nice siege with Victor's wave clear, my ability to hit towers and wave clear, Nami's disengage. So, we should try to get people over here. TF's bottom, so I think that at this point we should be super sieging, forcing TF to make a decision instead of just being in their jungle doing weird shit. We make a mistake and try to go bottom for some reason, but we're pushing onto their second tier mid turret, and TF by himself is pushing onto our bottom lane tier 1 turret. So we should be really forcing the issue and just jamming the every shit we can muster out of our assholes down mid lane and forcing TF to make a decision. So, okay, here comes the team fight. Dodge the blitz hook, we're fine. And now we're attacking. Amumu gets a nice ult off on 2. Sebs is still top. Whenever Sebs was fighting with Malphite here, Malphite came down and Sebs didn't. I think Sebs should have probably just followed and met with Malphite. They're way behind us, so they need to try to find odd man fights to try to get them a 5v4, 3-for-0 type of team fight to get them back in the game. We should just be trying to have the same numbers in team fights as they have, and just keep winning. But anyway, Nick gets a nice ult off, and we immediately destroy their 2 guys, Blitzcrank and Udyr. So TF's bottom, he's walking back mid now. Ryan's still full health with double buffs, so even though he doesn't have the most mana, he still is going to get his mana back up quick. I have full health. Nami has full health. Nick's under half health, but he's our tank. Ryan's spells are off cooldown. We should really be trying to push up here. This is still 4 of us versus 2 of them. But see, Victor starts to walk really far back, and Nami even walks back too. So the only threat I could imagine feeling, I can see why Nami would stay with Victor, because TF might ult backline, but there's no way TF's going to ult anywhere near the 4 of us, and they're going to get a 3v4 team fight win off the back end of this. So that's the only reason why I could imagine Victor running away instead of walking forward with us. But really, we should be trying to punish this Malphite as much as possible, chunk him as low as we can, and keep sieging mid. There's no way that anything is going to kill you here. Same with, I mean, Amumu's pretty low, but it's hard to imagine him dying. So we saw TF walk through this ward, and then we get a blue trinket on him, and Victor decides to walk down here and try to zone TF instead of just coming up here. So Malphite's chunked. He has to go back to base. We know TF's not nearby, and we had 4 guys mid. I mean, there's no way this Lucian can do shit, because if he walks up to hit a minion, if we had Victor E here, I mean, I still have my ult. If Victor E, my Q plus R would kill this dude. So instead, Victor walks down here, TF walks around this path, and instead of, if Victor really just wanted to zone him, he could have tried to meet him here and make TF walk the long way around, and then just cut back this way, but he just lets TF walk around right here, and then just starts farming minions in the bottom wave. I mean, obviously he's not going to push bottom by himself with that, so then TF flash gold cards me, and Nami's Q sort of takes... Nami should probably try to Q the Lucian just to cut the damage out on me, but this comes out a little bit too late, and now we sort of lose our... That big T-fight we won mid lane doesn't really mean so much now, because, I mean, we got top tower and we still got more kills than them, but we had a nice chance to really get some damage off on this tower, and maybe even take it if we did it perfect, or did it like really well. But Sebs is still pushing top. He draws pressure to the top side, which is always good. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom up because we're just recalling. Okay. Somebody do something. So, I mean, in this situation, we could be getting some wards down across the map, and Nami's getting wards down, but we should all be getting some wards down. Still, we should be still, at this point in the game, we should still be buying pink wards. Bottom sides, we haven't, yeah, we definitely need to ward. So we push bottom. So here's the point where we see Udyr top, and we're already pushing bottom and mid, just like naturally. So we don't want to waste time to like group up while we have 5-on-4. So we just want to like try to push as much as we can right now, and just sort of teeter-totter them back and forth between mid and bottom, mid and bottom. So here's our 3-man squad, is mid right now. So we need to look for opportunities where we have 3-on-2 or even 3-on-3 because we're stronger than them, and really punish them. So right here, here's our 3 squad. They have 2 here. Their TF and Malphite are just leaving bottom, so they're not going to be there for like 2 to 3 seconds, and we don't even try to punish these guys. You should try to just like chunk the fuck out of them, so that they have to go base or something. But like, Victor has all his spells up, even his ult. Amumu has all his spells up. Sebs has all his shit up. I mean, look at this Lucian. I mean, he is so far up. If Amumu Q R's right here, and Ryan R's, and then E's the Lucian, I mean, this is like a pretty good double kill, I would say. These guys RBC aren't going to do shit. And even if you tower dive and go like 2 for 2, I mean, we're still sitting here bottom ready to push the fuck out of bottom lane. So we have to just sort of recognize, in these type of scenarios where we're like 2 lanes are pushing, we really have to recognize one, they're walking between lanes, and even like for brief seconds, just like fight them or chunk them or do whatever we can to them. Like, just take those advantages and little by little, and just like force them to keep walking back and forth. But we don't even use any spells here. I mean, we just walk away. And now they have 4 bottom or 4 mid. Udyr's base, so now it's 5-on-5. So doing this strategy isn't really so good anymore. But we are sort of locked in it. So now they send 2 bottom, and TF's just like floating around. So now we have a 2-on-2. So since we're ahead, we take advantage. We get Blitzcrank down to half health, and we'll just, I mean, we're fine doing this. But now they send a bunch of guys mid, so you guys back up, which is good. And here comes a bunch of guys bottom. They flash. My E didn't get me over top of this tower bubble, which really fucking sucked. Udyr flash. We got an early exhaust, which is good. And now you guys have U3 here. I mean, there's no saving us now. It'll become more apparent really soon. I flash, but TF still has ult. TF ults in. Malphite flash ults. So now just, I mean, at this point, all we can really do is, I mean, they sort of got fed up with all of our pushing. Even though me and Nick both died, they used 2 flashes, and we get this tower. So these 2 guys right here, the Udyr and the Blitz, they're the big threat in this situation. I'm just gonna go back real quick. Right here. So the Udyr and the Blitz coming this way, the big threat. So this is who we want to stop for the disengage. TF and Malphite come up here. So the pillar, instead of being right here, should have been right here, so that they have to like walk around the circle and stay in the slow. Right here they can just like sort of speed through it, which sort of sucks. And then Ryan has flash. He gets exhausted, so he can't dodge the hook. All you can do if you get exhausted is try to flash it. And then here we're like walking back and forth, but this is like get the fuck out situation. Amumu also, if just Amumu, you can try to queue into like the wolves here to escape and save your flash instead of just flashing right over. But something to think about when you're in the jungle when you're escaping is trying to queue to jungle creeps, and then you guys try to go back in again. I don't know if you thought that like Udyr was going to walk off without his team following him with that much health left, but this just sort of sucks. The pillar should have been a little bit more off-centered too. But here they come. Now they get 4 kills and we get a tower, and they should have had, I mean, best case scenario for them, they should have only got 3 kills for that tower. But we're still up like 5k gold almost, so now we're respawning. We don't have a Mimu, we don't have Victor. I mean, we should just concede this dragon. It's not that big of a deal to give them their second dragon. Nami goes in a little far, gets hooked, and then Malphite gets on her and finishes off the kill. So now we're down a guy. We have Sobs here. His Qs, he hasn't, I think this is a mistake with his spells. This happens sometimes in spectator mode. Yeah, his E and his W are down, so he gets a slow off on Malphite, and it's back up in like 1.5 seconds, and he decides to walk back instead of chasing. What I think is fine. Maybe we could have got Blitzcrank if he would have tried to stay on him and kept queuing, and I could have got up here and got some damage off. But they still have TF coming, and Lucian's not that far back, and I know Ryan's coming, but I don't think we would have been able to get much out of this. So I think that just like playing this safe by Sobs is fine. I think we were just tilted and tried to contest Dragon when we shouldn't have. Hold on, I'm gonna check my video again.